my two guests, Alex and Andreas. My name is Markus Laub. Quite funny, I just saw it's still marked that I'm from the FC Basel, even though I've left the club 11 years ago, but it's something like brand marked. It might be because I was general manager for about 8 years, 2000 to 2008, sorry, 8 years. And we invented some quite nice and funny things like automated kick space measurement, as kick speed measurement, for example. But also, and I guess that's the reason why I was invited. We've launched the first platform where a customer could share and exchange, but also sell their tickets. And ticketing, as you've seen. Ticketing, season tickets, no-shows, etc. That's one of our topics. First of all, I'd like to give you the chance to introduce yourself. Alex, would you start?
Thank you. I think that's correct. FK Austria Vienna. I just double-checked right now. I've been working for the club for almost a decade right now, and been in the service industry for actually my entire professional life. Yeah.
Thank you. Andreas?
Yeah, I'm the CEO of Keyper. I invented Keyper, I think 5 years ago. And I've had 22 years background in the ticketing industry, basically an engineer. So I'm still a bit of a side, I'm not a seller. And you mentioned the platform you invented. I remember because we worked on it and it was 2007. It was 12 years ago. Just to be to recognize how long we are working in the space and recognizing this topic as no-shows. And yeah.
Perfect. So let's start. Maybe I would like to raise up two things. First of all, when you're talking about ticketing, no-shows, etc., basically there are two situations, and I guess everybody here in the room knows these two situations. On one hand, we have stadiums, they are not full, but however, or not sold out, let's say, but however, there are no-shows. And on the other hand, especially in the UK, with the big clubs, you have sold out stadiums, but also a lot of no-shows regarding the ticketing. Maybe before we start digging into the different aspects, could you give us a short introduction about no-shows, maybe basics, etc.?
So with no-shows, we mean it's sold tickets. I think we can
okay.
Do it. Just So basically, it's a difference between tickets sold and the attended visitor. So an example, if you're almost sold out, it's quite interesting. You have the money on your account, but the interesting thing is how many people are attending. The problems or the effect is when you have your stadium empty, you will not make food and beverage revenue, and you would not have the feeling, the overall feeling, and it looks bad, and there are much more bad things about it. So the question is, with no-shows, how to fill the stadium, so that's what we discussed, and we also thought about why people who have a valid ticket doesn't attend the event, and maybe we can see it. It's, let's say, to show this graphic, we have, as Markus mentioned, you have on the one hand really interesting and attractive games, and on the other hand, these games are often more sold out, so it's interesting. And we have also here an effect that secondary platforms or resale platforms are working. They're working well if you're sold out. So if you have the problem, you have an empty stadium, so let's say 60% or 70% of the capacity, you also have a no-show rate, but you won't see it. So the reason why people don't attend is almost they can't attend. They are on vacation, they have a business meeting, or they can't attend. And the question is how to solve it, but that we'll see. How to fix it. And the short answer to be is it has to be as easy for people who have a ticket to give the ticket away, to transfer ticket, and not only to sell it, but it has to be transferred. And that's key from our opinion.
Okay, thank you very much. Alex, what's the situation in your club?
Well,
Every game sold out?
unfortunately not. It was, we just to give you a perspective, right now we have the stadium capacity 17,500. We reopened the stadium after a refurbishment period of 2 years. So we had 12,500, now 17,500. Average number of spectators is right now roughly 10,400, 10,500. But there is an area where we are sold out, which is the hospitality area. There we have an occupancy rate of 97%, and those 3% remaining, so with season tickets, and those 3% remaining will sell off on a daily basis for every home game. So there we have the sold out situation. We could have sold more, so we increased, although we reopened the stadium last summer, we increased the hospitality area 3 times. So yeah, things are going well.
You told me before that you brought with you a short video about the situation in Austria, is that correct?
I think so.
Can we show the video?
The first one?
You have several videos?
I think we have 2 ones.
Let's see.
No,
Let's see
one
the
is
first
enough.
video.
One is enough.
Okay, just to give you
an impression.
exactly about the club.
What I'm talking about.
Should start.
Well, you see the stadium anyway. Video wouldn't change that pretty much. Oh, there you go.
This second one.
However, that
However,
Can we go to start?
one click.
that's why I.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. You said before that you're not sold out. However, you're trying to increase the number of spectators on one hand, on one side, and on the other side, you would like to reduce also the number of no-shows. Basically, I'm sure you've made some studies. You've maybe also made some tests.
Yeah.
What are your lessons learned, or maybe the key elements you found out are important to increase spectators, but also to reduce the no-shows?
Well, it's probably quite obvious. The first key message is that convenience is king. So for our fans, for our spectators, it's important that everything is made easy for them and made available for them. For example, we have a new metro station which opened up 2 years ago. So it's an easy to reach the stadium right now. We have easy access, thanks to keyper as well, so ticketing works well. And we have easy payment, for example, in the stadium. We are the first stadium in Austria that has an open loop payment solution, so you just can pay via your own credit or debit card. So this is our approach to make it easy for our fans to get in the stadium, buy something, buy their food and drinks in the stadium. And were we successful? Well, we increased the total number of spectators roughly of about 23%. So I think this success proves us right compared to the last 5 years or six years. Yeah.
So convenience is one element.
Is definitely one key element.
Okay.
And keyper therefore has been one very important part.
I mean, did you launch a campaign to explain to the fans that there is a new system on the market, or?
We have actually chosen a different approach.
Okay.
We decided that we rather start with the hospitality area, so that we have some sort of a certain bubble where we can do our learnings and where we have as well the direct communication. This is especially my part where I'm pretty much involved and head of. So the B2B ticketing is where we first of all launched keyper, and
So basically, you had two basic needs: convenience for the fans.
The thing that we exactly, the thing is what we experienced in the hospitality area. Everybody knows that there are two different approaches. Sorry, I have to be a bit more precise. A fan, as a football fan, buys his ticket just that he or she wants to go to every home game. He wants to attend personally. That's him or herself. Whereas if a business partner buys a ticket, it is basically to transfer those tickets. He wants to share the experience with other business partners. So there's a certain necessity that you want to transfer those tickets you bought, those season tickets. And this is where keyper comes into play.
I guess that's your turn now, Andreas. Possibility to explain to the audience how it really works. I mean, there are two basic needs. One is convenience, easy handling, and I guess that's combined to it. Also the communication to the fans. And how does keyper comes in here?
Yes, to understand, basically it's, as we spoken before, it's two segments. The fan segment, the B2C with the app. Here it is when we talk about keyper, we're a white label provider, so we provide technology which can be integrated into the app, and it makes it easy to transfer tickets, basically. As we had before, the experience has to be seamless. Single sign-on is crucial for this seamless experience, and that's one part. The second part, as Alex said, is the business and the VIP in the hospitality. So there are some different behavior. It's a different behavior and a different approach, because I can show some slide.
Okay, please.
We have to go further. We saw. This is the difference between P2C and B2B behavior. P2C means fan and app behavior. We see that ticket transfers are almost done with a text message. So from the app, within your contact, where you send your tickets to your existing contacts. And in 25 or 22% at an average for with email. And you also can see the peak when tickets are transferred. So usual fans or normal fans transfer it, let's say, between the day before or on match day. Last 24 hours, the most tickets are transferred. So it's a total different behavior to the business part. Business means ticket transfer starts on Monday, ends on Friday, and it's business time, so it's a total different behavior. We can see under. And we also see that in business, the invitation is almost done, or in half of the cases, done by email. So there is a strong difference between B2B, VIP, hospitality, and B2C.
Okay.
That means also different tools and different channels to work with.
However, I'm still not sure whether I've understood correctly how it really works. I mean, it might be good for all of us that you just maybe explain in a few words how it really works. I mean, we are transferring ticket. You have the possibility, or your customers actually have the possibility to transfer tickets. And how does it go? I mean, okay, on one hand you can say I email you a ticket and then I have the ticket, but it's a little bit more complicated, and I guess there is also a security issue which has to be solved.
Absolutely. So basically, we are all when we transfer tickets or when we buy tickets, usually we get an email with a PDF or a passbook file we can download. So the ticket is disconnected. The ticket is disconnected and can be transferred as well. Yeah, but there is no element, and this is how ticketing is going the last 2 years. In fact, when we go digital, it's more about to stay connected to the ticket and to the ticket holder. So it's a transfer from one person to another person. The idea behind is at the moment, when we talk about ticketing, it's always it's an owner-based paper. It's a representation of the right to attend an event. The move, what we're doing here is we give this right, or the right holder, the team, the organization gives a right to a specific person, which can give this ticket or the right to another person. So the idea behind goes much more deeper, and what has to be done is it has to be secured that when a ticket or this right is transferred, the representation, usually a barcode or a QR code, has to be changed, and it's crucial to be connected to the existing ticket solution. So we are not a new ticketing platform, we're just a matching part between ticketing solution, the existing ticketing solution, to the used front end, let's say an app or Facebook Messenger.
So basically, for example, when you transfer a ticket to Alex, the ticket will be deleted and issued again.
Yes.
Under the name of Alex.
Yes. So
okay.
Basically, the transfer is done.
Yeah.
So when I send a ticket to him, it should last not longer than 10 seconds. I can show you, or we can show you. And when he accepts the ticket, it's on the right holder, it's on the club, on the organization, what or which data has to be received. So usually you have a name, let's say an email address, and to make it easy, convenient to accept the ticket. But when he accepts this ticket, he also have to accept the terms of the organization, of the team, and he accept the privacy rules. So GDPR is set, and this data goes back to the ticketing solution, and we create, or the ticketing solution creates a new barcode, a new representation to get access.
So this is basically something that is very important for us as a club, that we have the right of the data. So the data is ours. We can see who is in the stadium.
So with keyper, one of the big changes is that, for example, today you know exactly who is the one is the owner of the ticket, and before you have sent out 50 tickets to
I
a
always knew the owner of the ticket, but I know now who is actually using the ticket.
Attendee. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
The attendee. That's it.
Perfect.
So this is especially, I wouldn't dare to contact the business partners of our business partners, but that's just the privacy issue. But I know which companies are attending.
Okay, understood.
Yeah. So
are there some other lessons learned or changes with this new system where you can say, well, that makes me things easier, or?
Definitely, because when you look at here, this is where the business, or I have a laser pointer. I think it's a little bit better. As you mentioned before, Andreas, this is where our business partners start to prepare for the weekend. This is where they all are doing the handling, the ticketing, handling the transfer of the tickets on their own. This is what I can show you. This is, everybody I think knows that these are the plastic cards. These are the season tickets. Imagine the situation that you want to invite your business partners. What you do, either you meet them in person or you just transfer that by mail or whatever. So it's rather difficult. It has to come back then after the game. So this is the situation it used to be. Right now, ticket handling is done by our business partners directly with their business partners.
And you're no longer involved.
I'm not involved anymore. And then, especially this peak here, has been a lot of headache for us, because this is on the weekend where you have to prepare for the game itself, and then people are calling that somebody who has the card, the plastic card right now, is not able to attend. So what you do, you reprint another ticket for them, you deposit it at the entrance. This is a lot of ticketing handling for us, which caused pretty much headache on match day, where you have the the peak of stress. So this is definitely a relief for us, or for me personally, who hasn't been involved.
Swiss people are very slowly, so please, I try to understand that. That means before you had to handle the ticket exchange or transfer between the sponsors.
Yes.
And now
I was the middleman.
The middleman, basically.
Because they called
Right.
me, I had to reprint those tickets, hand it
out,
over.
send it out,
Exactly.
whatever. Okay.
Exactly.
And now the sponsor is doing it directly
Mhm.
between his guests. Let's say.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the communication is direct between our business partner
So
and
you have
their
a lot of
business
spare
partner.
Right.
I wish I had. And I mean, just to give you an
Have you
idea,
some figures?
I give you an idea. It's between 8 till 11% of the time of my assistant, what she now has, for more rather important stuff than ticketing handling.
Okay.
So there's definitely a cost reduction.
Besides the cost reduction, it's also important to generate more revenue. And especially in the B2B, it's not only the direct revenue, it's also important that people really attend.
Exactly.
Do you already have some figures you can share with us? Is there already an increase in the number of attendees? Or?
Well, we've been using keyper for now 6 months.
Okay.
So I cannot give you exact figures, but what we experience is that people are using keyper, and they told us how much they liked it and how much it improved their personal situation, because once they had, for example, a secretary who just had trouble sending all the tickets, recollecting all the tickets.
Okay.
This is now as well an improvement for our business partner, so they're hopefully willing to prolong their contracts with us, because it's easy for them. Exactly. And convenience here again is king.
Do you know already how many people in percentage are using this new system?
Well, we could say that at least more than 1/3 of our business partners are using it.
That's a lot.
Yes, it is definitely.
Okay.
I mean, we help because you asked that before. The thing is, how could we increase, or that's the big question, how can we communicate that keyper exists? It's way easier to communicate it to our business partners, where we have the direct link. I mean, that's my daily business, to talk to them and to present them this kind of solution. And as soon as they called us in order to print those replacement tickets, then we directly said, well, there's another option right now. So this probably explains why we have this high number, and this is definitely a challenge for us in the future, that we find a way to communicate exactly the same thing we did personally with our business partners to our fans.
And to expand the system from the B2B also to the B2C area. Then.
Exactly, but this is a marketing challenge.
Sure. Since time is running, sorry.
Can I add something? So
Sure.
when Alex is talking about using keyper as a system, it's keyper is a 100% white label solution. So it's all. So we provide the technology, and Alex or Austria are providing these tools in their brand to their customer. And I think when you step to the next slide, they can also provide this tool. This is the B2B tool with a dashboard with the tickets for the sponsor. So we can provide the same white label solution to the sponsor, to each sponsor, and he can transfer and manage his tickets in his area, in his brand. And I think that's also, especially for bigger sponsors, really necessary to work not with keyper as a brand, but just as technology. The communication has to be, it has to be trustful. It has to be in the domain. So no other domain than in this one or FK Austria, for example. It has to be, the communication has to be constantly 100% in the brand. I think that's also a big thing.
I mean, if somebody wants to know a little bit more, I mean,
Yes.
you're still here,
Yes.
both of you, so you can be contacted after the show. Since, as I said before, since time is running, I would quickly address another topic, which, especially in my former role, more than 11 years ago at the FC Basel, was really a pity. I mean, there is a secondary or black market, and as an original right holder, it's almost a shame that somebody as a secondary market, somebody who is acting on the secondary market could make more money as the original right holder. I mean, you sell the ticket for 100 to a customer, and he has the possibility over a platform to sell it to another one for 300. So there is money which doesn't go to original right holder. Thinking about the possibility that you can securely transfer a ticket from a customer, an end customer, to another end customer, isn't that also possibility that the secondary market could be changed with such a kind of technology?
Yes. So I would also say, basically, there is no need for a secondary market. I think it's hard, but
okay.
The thing is, what's the real reason? One thing is wrong pricing, but it also has a social component. So you have to find the right price to your audience, and so a secondary market often when you can't use your ticket, you are forced to sell your ticket. But the real aim of people is not to sell tickets; it's more the loss aversion. So what am I doing to avoid kind of loss? So usually when you sell season tickets, you have a 20 or 30% discount or 10%. So I can miss 3, 4 or 5 games or more, and I don't feel a personal loss. But I would be happy if I can send tickets and make other friends or business partners happy within a few amount of time. So let's say 10 seconds. So when we have a phone call and I ask you, are you free on Saturday, and would you join me to the event? I could, in this moment, send you the ticket and could ensure that you accept the ticket.
As a gift, or?
As a gift, or I can sell it to you for a price, let's say 50% or 100%, in the range the team defines or the club defines.
Okay,
so the right holder is in charge and in the power to define the rules. And as I mentioned before, this big shift from owner-based tickets to named paper, all the law regulation we actually see, especially in the UK and against the touting, this shift from owner-based tickets to named paper gives the team the right to define under which condition tickets can be transferred.
So that means, for example, as a club, I could say, all my customers, they are allowed to resell the tickets, but only if I get, I don't know, 20% of the additional amount,
or 50%, yes.
Or 50% or whatever.
Yeah.
So basically, the original right holder club, stadium, whatever, is able to set like a kind of rule, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Very interesting. I don't know how much time is left. 0?
Nothing.
Some questions?
We haven't got time for questions, unfortunately. We're running slightly, but you guys are all around today, right? You're
Sure.
around for the rest of the day. So get in touch for any questions on the chat.
So then, thank you very much, both of you. Thank you.
Thank you.